Hello, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you are, based on your location. Hello, Ambika. How are you? Hello, Mr. Parvez Masood. Welcome to this Global Success Stories. Hello, Mr. Shafiqul Islam Ridha. Nazrul Islam. Nazrul Bhai, how are you? So thank you for joining. Please stay with me. I have a very special guest today. I have a really very special guest. I'm just about to bring my guest on this screen. Thank you for joining, whoever joining with me. I'm really happy, glad, and I'm really grateful to all of you. So please stay with me. I'm just bringing my guest online. So it is on in a process. Within a minute. So I hope that my guest will be joining. Thank you. Let me see whether it works this way or not. I think you need to use. Can you hear me? This is okay. Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. So finally, it happened.
Okay, let me make sure that my phone doesn't drop down. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll just switch off.
Please.
Can you see me? I can't see you right now.
Yeah, I can see you. You can't see me.
Okay, but I can't see you. I can't see you.
It should be on your screen.
Right. Okay. Sure. Now it's there. Should I switch off the tube light on the back?
It would be better, little bit better, I guess, because background light is coming. Guest and who is a world-class trainer and who goes all over the world to train the international corporations, international corporates, and he has a very successful career so far, and he's joining me live today from Kerala, India. And I cannot wait to bring my guest speaker and to introduce Mr. Farookh Sensei with all of you. So just let me give you a little bit of summary who Mr. Farookh Sensei is. And when I have gone through his profile, oh my goodness, where he came and what he is doing today all over the world is a true miracle. Miracle is in front of me and in front of all of us. We'll talk with him. So Mr. Farookh Sensei, typically a school dropout, and then he became world record holder in international aviation studies. From a lazy fat boy to national karate champion, an Asian brand ambassador to represent 2 world karate championships, from medically unfit pilot trainer to a 5-star airline instructor training, experienced pilot including captains flying Super Jumbo Airbus A380. From a shy guy to a personal transformation and leadership excellence coach to conduct training in more than 50 countries worldwide. Yes, you heard me correct, more than 50 countries worldwide. He's a certified John C. Maxwell trainer, speaker, and coach. At the same time, he is also Les Brown certified speaker and coach. He trains and he's conducting training in more than 48 countries, as I said. He's author, he's entrepreneur, he's a keynote speaker, he's a transformational leadership coach. He's learning and performance specialist, NLP master practitioner, yes, neuro-linguistic programming master practitioner. He is also a former manager, talent development, Qatar Airways. And he is also a best technical trainer of Qatar Airways as well. And he was accredited best of the best trainer from Qatar Airways. Qatar Airways Safia Award for loyal and dedicated service. He served 14 years in Qatari Airways, and last 2 years he is on his own, spreading his knowledge, education worldwide, and he is helping the different corporations to become a successful leader into their organizations. Let me introduce Mr. Farookh Sensei, the successful trainer, coach, and speaker with all of you. It's my privilege, Farookh Sensei, to have you on the Global Success Stories.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Kamaru. It's an honor for me to be with you.
It's my privilege. It's my shared privilege. So it's my curiosity, and I hope that from a high school dropout, then became the champions of karate. As you said, you were lazy, and now you're traveling all over the world and you're teaching the leadership. So can you share your life's journey? How a high school dropout becoming a world champion today? What is the reason behind it? What is the secret sauces behind it?
Very well. Thank you very much, Hassan. That was a good question. There are two things inside you, inside each and every person. Number one is a self-talk, which says that you can't do. And that becomes more powerful when you start hearing that from other people. Then there is the other part of it, which says you can do it, you're good at it. Now the question comes, which one is going to be successful? Is it the one which says you can't, or is it the one which says you can? It depends upon which one you feed. Now, in my case, I was completely, if I use the word broke, financially broke, number one. Number two, I was surviving with a little amount of money. Number three, I was a fat guy, as I mentioned. Number four, I was the most laziest guy in the classroom. I never even remember that I had passed even a single examination because I was so lazy. And my dad used to bribe, I'll tell you. My dad used to bribe the teachers to get me through class number one, standard number 1, 2, 3, etc. So that was my dad's business, not my business to pass. When I reached 8th grade, I was very much into movies. I wanted to act in the movies and so forth. So my brother and I, we used to cut classes, we used to bunk classes, and we used to go to cinemas. And one fine day, they caught me. They caught me and my brother. And this is a question my teacher asked me, my principal. She asked me this question. Would you like to continue your studies? And my answer was no. That's it. I was in 8th grade. She asked me whether you are interested to continue with your studies. And I said no. And she said, we don't want anybody like you in our school. I said, fine, that's okay. And I was kicked off. My brother and I, we both were kicked in the studio for around about 1 year. My brother continued in the same studio for his lifetime. But what I did is I worked for 1 year, and I felt I used to see students going to schools and all those things. So I felt that there is something within me that I was missing. Now is the very first time I started to think. Until grade 8, it was my dad's responsibility. But now it became my responsibility that I have to go forward. Now that happens to everybody in life. You either fall down, but you're not a failure. You'll fall down. Everybody's going to fall down. And everybody you take, everyone, even if you take Abraham Lincoln, you can see his story that he has fallen down many, many times. And I have fallen down. But the thing is that you've got to get up. And that comes from your passion, with your purpose, etc. Just like if I take your example, because you left your job because you want to bring a change in the world, because there is a passion that you have and there's a purpose. And for me, that was the time when I started connecting with my purpose, saying that I need to study and I need to grow. And I went back to my school. Now the question is, I was not taken into the same school because that was a high standard English medium school. So I have to go and join in a very local school where there they use a different language, which I was not very much familiar with. So I had to go in grade 8 and I had to study the language, which is called Malayalam, from ABC, which is normally taught in the 1st grade. So I had to do that in 8th grade. I had to learn how to talk, how to speak, how to write, etc. My teacher used to conduct the courses or the subjects in the local language, and I used to take notes in English. When I reached my 10th grade, I failed again. Then again, I had to go because I was learning an absolutely new language. But after that, what happened is once I completed my 10th grade, in the college it is in English. So now I started ruling the college. And I was top in my college. I never used to go to my college. I was very much into martial arts, going to fightings and all those things. But I used to be number 1 in my studies. So Martial art is something which helped me. Again, going to martial art, I failed in my first grade. I failed all my teammates except me. Everybody passed in that exam. We call it the yellow belt grading. Everybody passed except me. So again, there's an inner self started coming out saying that, Farookh, you're not a failure. You have to do something. And today, if I tell you, Hassan, all those guys who passed today, they are not in martial art, but I'm still there, though I was the first one to fail. Let me take the third example. I want to become a pilot. I went for my pilot interview. I'm tall enough, I'm built enough, and my friend said that you're definitely going to get, because they'll look at you and they'll give you the position to be a cadet pilot. I walk into the room, and with full oxygen, I was feeling that I'm going to get it. And the gentleman who was sitting there for the interview looked at me top to bottom, and he asked me, what's my height? I said that I'm 6'1". I was 6'1" at that time. I'm 6'2" right now. So he asked me, what's your height? I said 6'1", and he said that you're disqualified. I said, why? He said that we can't allow you to sit in the cockpit because the aircraft is a smaller version aircraft, a learning aircraft. So there again, I failed. Then what I did is, okay, I knew that I can't fly because I had a problem with my eyes, because I had damaged my right eye in an accident. In an accident. So I thought, okay, now since I can't fly, let me take some other job, which is ground-based job. So I went and joined in a program which is called the IATA program. So I thought, let me go and join for that. And there was no IATA centers. It stands for International Air Transport Association, with its head office in Geneva and in Canada. So there was no school, there was no teacher, but I knew that that is one of the openings for me that can give me an opportunity to get into the aviation industry. So I bought the books from Canada and I started learning. That was completely zero for me. I had no clue what they're talking about because I was not a technical airline guy. I went for the first examination, failed there again. So again, I was failing. But the next time I said, no, I'm going to pay money from my pocket, because the first time my dad spent money from his pocket. So I said, let me pay money from my pocket so I become more responsible. Now that is a leadership quality. Leadership quality number one is you got to be responsible. I don't say 99%. Those who are sitting there, my friends, you got to understand, you got to take 100% responsibility. That is called personal leadership. I didn't know anything about leadership. I didn't know anything about goal setting, nothing, zero. But I said to myself, no, I have to take the decision. Either life take you somewhere or you take the life somewhere you want to. I was not there for the first one. I don't want life to take me where the life wants to. I want to take my life the way that I want to. So for that, I need to be very much clear. The clarity should be there. So I said, no, I have to go and pass this exam. I went and I studied myself. I passed my first examination. I was very happy. I thought that airline is going to come and pick me up. It didn't happen. I went for an interview. That's again. Now, when I went for the interview, the gentleman who was interviewing me for a travel agency, he asked me, okay, what is your studies? I said, I've done my IATA. And I was so proud that I had done my IATA, but he said that I can't give you a job. And it was really embarrassing for me, the interview. I told to myself, I'm going to come to this guy again. This guy is going to respect me next time. What I did is I didn't go for any interview then. I started doing one course after other course after other. But I did 15 of IATA courses from different areas, from the pilot level to the ground level, ticketing level, cargo level, dangerous goods level, all started from different areas. When I started doing it, when I did 15 courses all by myself, without a teacher, without going to school, because there was no school that was teaching. And I was given a call from London saying that, why can't you come and join our academy as a head of department? Now understand this, Hassan. When you have a clear goal, when you picture yourself to be the #1 in the world, I'll tell you, you can be #1 in the world. Just like you have an objective, that is, you want to cover 100 countries, you want to travel with your team to different countries. That's exactly what I had. I was having a very sharp, clear, crystal clear objective that I want to be an international trainer and flying around the world free. That was my two dreams. My two dreams, one is to see the world. Went there, and once I got it, I started getting calls from different other organizations. When I got 15, I also became the world record holder, because there was nobody in the world who had 15 qualification. Today I got 41 qualification, and nobody has beaten my record for the last 18 years. I broke my own record 8 years. So that's my story. Now, does that mean that I have stopped? The answer is I have stopped myself. When it comes to karate, I gave it to my student. I said, now you can go ahead. Now, I have got a student who is a 7th degree black belt from Japan. He's my student. I'm a 6th degree black belt, but I'm proud of him because he's a 7th degree black belt. And I introduce him to everyone. That's called leadership. Leadership is not sitting on the top. Understand, leadership is not sitting on the top. Leadership is to lift your people up. It's really boring. As John Maxwell says in his book, which is called the Leadership Gold. If you want, I can show you the book. This is the book, The Leadership Gold. He talks about it's really lonely when you're on the top by yourself. It's something wrong that you have done. If you're on the top and there is nobody around you, that means there is something wrong in your leadership. When you are on the top, you need to understand that your team is there on the top. That's leadership. So when it comes to karate, I made sure that my student becomes much more senior to me, and today I'm proud to introduce him. He's been my student for the last 35 years. And when it comes to the aviation industry, when I was leaving my job 2 years back, I made sure that nobody comes and takes over my seat, but I selected one person from my own team. He was the youngest chap in the team, and today he is the manager of that particular department, traveling around the world and conducting training program. Though we had seniors in the team, but the best part is my senior team members, they respected the juniors, because the junior guy, because they found the leadership quality in the junior guy. And that's what a leader has to do. Leader should look at the potential. He has to look at the potential of the team. Now, for example, when you are selecting somebody to a managerial level, that something goes wrong every time. If there are people who are very much technical, if there are people who are very technical, don't take them to the managerial level. Understand that. Don't take them to the managerial level, because they sit in the managerial level and they are still thinking like a technician guy. Never do that. Whenever you have to select somebody, don't look at the experience. Experience does not make you an expert. Once again, I repeat, experience does not make you an expert until otherwise you master your experience. So there could be somebody in your team who has got, say, 10 years of experience. And there could be somebody who has got only 2 years of experience, but the way that he thinks, if he thinks like a leader, you got to take him and give him the position. It's not the experienced guy that you have to give the position. The person who thinks like a leader, who thinks like in a bigger picture, you got to take him. So the answer is, if you fail, yes, everybody fails. The question is, you need to kick your back and get up. And that's exactly what John Maxwell tells again in the same book. If you're getting a kick on your back, that means you need to understand that you are in the front. And whenever you want to learn something, understand this one thing. If you want to learn something, do not go to the number 2 person. Once again, I repeat, do not go to the number 2 person. Always go to the number 1 person. Because the number 1 person is the one who can give you the best of the best knowledge. Not number 2, not number 3 at all. So when I want to train, like, let me take your example. Why did you go to John C. Maxwell? Because you know that he is number 1 when it comes to leadership. Is that right?
Correct.
And that's the reason why you went to John C. Maxwell. You didn't go to XYZ. I didn't go to XYZ because when it came to leadership, I went to John Maxwell because I knew that he's number 1 in the world. When it came to motivational, I went to Les Brown because I knew that he's number 1 in the world. When it came to publishing book, I went to Anik Singhal because I know that he's number 1 in the world. So I just go for number 1. Now, the thing is that sometimes we might have something called the excuse. Excuse is a shield which comes between you and your success. You got to kick off the excuses. Now, the excuse could be, I'm not fit for it. I'm a bit old. Why should I go for this program? I'm 51 plus now. The question is, I'm still a student. I keep on learning. I spend around about 6 hours every day learning books. You can see my library behind me. It's a whole library of books. Now, why should I do that? I always understand that you learn as if you're going to live forever and live as if today is your last day. That's it. You've got to learn every single day. Every single day. And the best way to learn, understand this, the best way to learn is to teach someone. Teach someone, you will learn. Don't keep it with yourself. Don't keep it with yourself. If you keep everything with yourself, you're not going to learn, because it's going to die with you. It's going to die with you. So always understand that you have to teach. The more you teach, the more you learn. The more you give, the more wisdom you get. The more discover yourself. You'll understand the rights and the wrongs when you start teaching to people. And that's how you do. And every time I have fallen down in my karate, when I've fallen down, when I fell down in my airline industry, Every time what I did is I taught people. I started teaching people. The more I teach, the more I learn. And that is one secret that what I am today here. Because even the leadership program, I'm not an expert in leadership. What I did is I started teaching. How did I teach? I got mastermind classes. I bought online mastermind classes. I started teaching absolutely free. And I started gaining more and more knowledge. Because once you are in a mastermind, you get more knowledge from the people who are there in the group. Just like what Napoleon Hill said in his book, Think and Grow Rich. So the more you teach, the more you learn. You need to be with the people who say that you can do it. Not with the chickens, not with the ducks, not with those turkeys which can't fly. They are good. Understand that they are good. Chickens are good. Turkeys are good. Ducks are good. But they can't fly. They can't fly. And therefore, they are not good for you. If you want to fly, if you want to be successful, when you fall down, you need to have an eagle. You need to have an eagle. Who is an eagle? An eagle is somebody. It could be a friend. It could be a wife. It could be a husband. It could be a father. It could be anybody who is there to tell you that it is possible for you. You're not a failure. You're not a failure because it is your choice. Success is your choice. So you can get up and you can become number one, not number two again. Number one. Now, when I say number one and number two, I need to have a clarification. It is not necessary to be number one, but you could be not to be number first. It's not necessary that you have to be first, but you can be the best. Now, what does that mean? Let's take one example, Nokia. Nokia was number one. Am I right? You take any example of that. There are companies which came into the industry, they were number one, but today you can see there are other companies which have overlapped that. For example, if you take computer, it was not Apple which came first, but today Apple is in the forefront. So you take anything. Let's take Orkut. Orkut was number one, but Facebook is best. So it is not that you have to be the pioneer. It's not necessary that you have to be the pioneer, but the thing is that whatever you do, you must do it the best in the best way. If you do it best, people will come a small hometown, which is in India. But today I'm connected with our world from my home office. Just like Hassan is connecting all over the world. The question is, it's not where you are located. The question is, how much changes can you bring in people? If you can bring changes in people's life, you are automatically a leader. You don't require a title as a leader, my dear friends. You don't require as a title. You may be in different levels in your organization. It's not necessary that you are working. There could be some of my friends who are not working, who are looking for a job. There could be also friends who are a housewife. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Still, you are a leader. Understand that you are a leader if you can do one thing, and that one thing is influencing people. If you can influence people, then you are automatically a leader. If you can influence your mother-in-law, I'll tell you, you are a leader. If you can influence your father-in-law, you are a leader. If you can influence your husband, your wife, your kids, you are a leader. If you can influence your children, you are a leader. You don't require a title. I don't have a title. I don't believe in title, but I believe that I'm a leader because I bring changes in people's life, because I influence people, and that's exactly what you need to do. If you can influence people, you can bring impact in life. You can bring changes in life. Now, very important is, what do you mean by influence? Let's take an example. Let's say I'm a boss of a company. I should not use the word boss, but just for this example, let's say I'm the boss of this company, and there are a lot of staff that I have. When they see me,
I'm sorry, the live has been lost, and it to bring me. He's there within a. I think he'd be he'd be coming back very short. I'm trying to bring him again. Just okay. Farookh Sensei, I think you're lost from the video. Can you also just now need to use the cell phone again, and then only I can bring you on live, because unless you are watching me from your cell phone, I can't bring you. The icon shows I can't bring you right now. Would you please use your cell phone again? It was very intense discussion. At that moment, the connection dropped. At that very moment, the connection get dropped. Let me invite him again. Okay. That's wrong. I want to bring. I want to bring Farookh. Okay. Approved. Is adding. It's good. Wait a minute. Wait a second. So those who are just joining with me live, who travels all over the world. Already he has covered 40 countries in terms of teaching the leadership. And he's a John C. Maxwell certified leader. He's Les Brown certified motivational speaker. He worked 14 years in Qatar Airways. He was a leading trainer. And then he retired from the Qatar Airways, and he's doing and the leadership journey across the world. He's teaching the leadership, and he was talking about how he came and what is his leadership ideas, his thoughts and beliefs, and how he's progressing in his life. At that very moment, we lost the connections, and I hope to bring him again. Let's see. Just please allow me in the meantime. I need to bring my guest. Okay. Farookh Sensei, you need to use the cell phone again because it shows that there is no icon that I can bring you.